Welcome to the Lady Landlords podcast, where we empower women to gain financial independence through real estate investing. I'm your host, Becky Nova, founder of Lady Landlords. If you're ready to buy, manage, and grow your real estate portfolio, then let's get started. Welcome back to today's episode of the Lady Landlords podcast. Today, I want to bridge the gap between two of the main reasons why I see lady landlords stuck and not adding cash flow and rentals and equity to their life and their lifestyle every single month. So let's talk about these two things. Let's address them. Let's name them. And then I'm going to break down what each of them involves and how we can kind of bring them together to be able to bridge that gap. The reason why I feel this is important is I feel that a lot of times there seems to be some gatekeeping around what real estate investing is. And it's broken down into ways where it's just go find a deal, find your financing, scale portfolio. But the problem is that there's not the how and there's not the what and the why and answering all the questions within that. And for me, I know when I was growing my portfolio that I felt that there was just too much information that was being left out of the gaps between the people that were actually out there doing it versus the people that really wanted to be able to do this and grow their portfolio. So the two spaces that I really see that need to be brought together in order to create that successful real estate portfolio is, first side of it is really discussing what type of investor are you? What is the goal that you specifically are looking for? And what is your purpose for really being within this real estate investing space? That's part number one on that side. Side number two, how are you going to pay for it? Right? Where's this money coming from? What does that look like? Because we can understand what our goals are and what our hopes are and everything like that. But if we don't understand how financing works, it's all really kind of useless for us. And we could have all the money in the world in the bank, but if we don't know how to use it, it's also just as useless. So let's take side number one. Okay. This is something that I always want us to be able to start with. And even within kind of these two different concepts I'm talking about today, I feel like it's really important to first start with identifying what are we looking to get out of this? We need to understand what our goal is, what type of investor we specifically are before we could put a plan together. I get messages all the time being like, Becky, is this a good deal? Becky, should I buy this? Becky, what should I do next in my portfolio? And to be honest, it doesn't really matter what I would do at all, because I don't invest and I might not be the same type of investor as you. So all because I would give you my steps, all because I would do certain things in a portfolio does not mean that they would make any sense or be a fit for what you are looking to do or any of the other 50,000 plus women that we have in Lady Landlords. So I kind of came up with just four little simple types of investors. And I'm going to just kind of briefly describe what that really kind of looks like. It does not matter which one you are. There are strategies out there for every single one of these that I'm going to talk about. But I think it's really important to really think about which one of these sounds the most like you, because in that way, that's how we can build a portfolio that's going to then work around what you are actually looking for. Okay. So type one investor. Okay. I want you to remember you are a number one if this sounds like you. If you really want to be involved, if you are saying that this is something that I want to take on the management of, that I want to participate, that I want to be there, that I need to walk around the property, that I need to be able to be boots on the ground, that I need to be able to see it. If you are going to be there and be that part of it, that is being, in my opinion, the hands-on investor. That's type one. You might even be saying that you're going to take on those renovations, that you're going to be doing some of the painting. Maybe you will just be overseeing carpet replacement, whatever it may be. But if you're saying, hey, this is a property that I'm going to be in a fairly regular basis, that I want to be able, that I can drive to, that I want to manage it, that I'm going to be the one collecting the rent, dealing with the tenants, you are a type one hands-on investor. Okay. That usually ends up being something that people will have. You can have quite a few of these if you put your systems in place. Okay. But this tends to be more of what we see in Lady Landlords, a little bit of that kind of mom and pop lady landlord that has quite a few different investments that will be participating in that possibly would be looking to leave their full-time job, maybe move to part-time, but really being able to take on their portfolio and bring in some extra money with that to alleviate bills and stress and stability within their life. Type number two is the woman that's saying, well, I want to take that, but I want to build.
that I want those larger projects, that I want to really be thinking about scaling, that I want systems, that I need to create even another management company to manage them, I said buildings, which are also be their own businesses. If you're saying really getting into that commercial real estate with larger projects, buildings with much larger units, raising capital, being able to pull all those different pieces together, in my opinion, you're what I'm calling type two, which is the portfolio builder type. This is really where we're saying this isn't just a hobby, this isn't just a small business, but this is now replacing a 9 to 5. And to be honest, if you are that portfolio builder, this will probably become a 9 to 5 job for you. Okay, we have to acknowledge that. Really understanding how that's going to fit into our day, into our plan, into our goal is really what's going to help us be the most successful in this. So remember that you are a type two. If you are saying that, no, I want to build an empire and I want to spend my time managing my empire, you are that portfolio builder type. Type number 3 is a little bit more of lifestyle first investing. This might be, hey, I want to buy my dream home. I want to live in it part of the time. I'll rent it out when I'm not there. I want to make sure that it's a place that I can use. It's something that's in a great destination for me. It's more of something that is your lifestyle. And what does that give you? Now, this is different than that hands-on investor. That hands-on investor is saying that money is really going to help change what my lifestyle is going to look like. The lifestyle investor is really saying that you're buying places for the purpose of improving your lifestyle. For example, my property that I'm sitting in as I'm talking to you here now is my dream beach home. Okay. I was able to purchase this for the idea of me living in it. And then it's just a perk that I get to be able to rent it out. This to me was a very big lifestyle upgrade. And this was an important piece of that. This is not my moneymaker. This is not what pays my bills month to month to month. This is something that really just adds on to that lifestyle investor. So that's type number 3. The 4th type that we're going to be talking about here is that passive investor. This is the person saying, I don't ever plan on setting foot in a property. I don't ever want to see the property. I don't want to talk to tenants. I'm not taking tenant management calls. This is either you're completely outsourcing property management. You're probably maybe a silent partner. You are the money partner. Maybe you're just involved in syndications where you and a group of people come together to be able to buy properties that you're never even going to set foot in, but that you still absolutely own. So I want you to think about which type you are here. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Drop that down in the comments. That will help me be able so that way I can continue to bring you episodes that will fit the type of investor that you feel that you are. There's no wrong answer here. I personally will say that I'm a type 1 investor. That tends to be me. I have my portfolio. I do my own tenant management. I do my own acquisitions, fund projects, renovations, all those things really kind of stay in-house, if you will, in my small business within my own properties. That's me. I absolutely dabble in the other ones. Once again, I have my property down here in the Dominican Republic. I also invest in syndications. I also do private lending, which puts me in the passive investor category. It's okay to cross between the others, but you really want to talk about and think and get very clear on what is going to be your bread and butter. And we want to make sure that's going to match not only your time constraints, what else is going on in your life, what your capital looks like, but it should also really match your personality. What's going to light you up? What gets you excited about real estate investing? Based on that, we really want to think about this. This might be a place you might have 2 different numbers in mind. You might have a number saying, hey, I really want to be a type 3 lifestyle investor, but right now I'm really stuck in type 1. Whatever that looks like, that's perfectly okay. But drop down in the comments for me. Let me know 1, 2, 3, or 4. I would love to know which type of investor you feel that you are in this place in time. Now, that second piece that I mentioned at the beginning of this episode is how are we actually getting deals funded? Now, in my opinion, there's really kind of 3 buckets of where this comes from. 1, your own money, your savings. How are we doing this with either bonuses or your retirement or from your 401k, your whole life policies? What are you doing that? Are you just sitting there saying, cool, I'm going to be able to save my money from my own paychecks and that's going to fund my down payment bucket? If so, you are in bucket 1. Okay. That is your savings space and you're using really your own money that you worked hard for, that you saved up to be able to roll that into that next property. Bucket number two, in my opinion, really talks about equity. You're really starting to leverage some things here. Maybe you're doing a cash out refi. Maybe you are taking out lines of credit on your property. Whatever you're doing that you're saying, I'm taking monies from what I already own and leveraging that into the next property. This also goes with the BRRRR strategy. If you're familiar with that, where you're buying property, renovating it, refinancing, and then you're really reusing those funds again into your next property, then you're really in bucket number two. Okay. This is where we need to be very careful with leveraging the monies that we have to make sure that when we're covering the expense of borrowing that money, but also that we are not over leveraging ourselves when it comes to emergencies or anything in that space. But you are in bucket number two if you are considering using your equity. Number three, bucket number three, I see it as creative financing. What are we doing that is outside of those banks? Are we looking for partnerships? Are we looking into seller financing, private lenders, all of those different spaces? And we can get really, really fun and creative financing. But if you're saying, hey, I'm not just sitting around waiting to be able to save my own money, to be able to purchase and fund that next down payment, then you're probably in that creative financing bucket. So, same thing. Let me know down in the comments. I would love to see where you are and what type of financing that you will be looking for. I talk to lady landlords all the time that get stuck in this buy, save cycle. And they're using that bucket number one to just go and buy these properties. And unfortunately, it's taking them forever to be able to grow a portfolio. Even if they are that hands-on investor that's only looking for maybe a handful of properties, it can still, I buy in New York. Most of the properties I'm looking at are at a minimum of $500,000. That's like $100,000 down at minimum on every single property. That takes a little while to be able to save here. So we really want to be able to start getting ourselves out of that buy save cycle and start looking at other options. There's nothing wrong if that's your plan, but if you're a person saying, I want to grow faster, I don't want to be held back due to capital, we need to start getting you out of different buckets. So let me know what bucket you're currently in: savings, equity, creative financing, and then also feel free to share which bucket you would hope to move into, right? All because you're in one bucket now, just like you're one type of investor now, does not mean we need to stay there. And I'm really hoping that the point of this podcast is to show you how you might be misaligned, and that could either be keeping you stuck or unhappy or just not really seeing the full potential of real estate investing as it's actually designed. So one of the reasons that I want you to be able to address this is because we need to start making that shift and getting you to the right place of alignment. I feel like when we start talking about this and start addressing where these pitfalls are that are keeping people back, it's where conversations can change. I want to know what types of lenders you are looking for. I want to know what types of buckets you are looking to move into. We should be out there talking to how deals should be structured, what mistakes there are that people are getting themselves stuck in, what numbers we should actually expect. I think it's interesting. I've had some members come into the inner circle, and I invite very limited members into our inner circle community. And when I have that conversation with women, it's really interesting to see what realistic numbers they feel like they see. And sometimes I'll get women that are saying, well, I want to be able to buy a property for, let's say, $100,000. I have 10 grand, going to buy a house for $100,000. Oh, and I want it to be able to make, 10 grand a month in that one property. Well, sometimes those things are not really realistic in the way that they are designed. And we need to restructure what our goals are and what we actually can temper as our expectations into something that will actually happen and be actually able to build upon that. Like I said, my goal is really to help ladies become their own bank and be able to grow and scale as they move forward and not get stuck where they cannot buy or grow their portfolio if that is something that they are looking to do. So if you have not, take a moment, think about what type of investor really are you? And two, what funding strategy are you using now versus what is the funding strategy that you really should be in? Now, if you're not sure, or if you're not sure how to be able to move between those two things, I encourage you to join the Lady Landlords virtual networking meetup on April 2nd. We are going to be going through what that alignment really looks like of where you should be for the type of investor you are. Like I said, everything has got to start there. We've got to get clarity on why you're actually investing and what you're really looking to get out of this. Because without understanding your end goal, we're really not going to be able to get you to be able to move forward. In this event, what we're going to do, and it's a highly curated group. So it's not just come in and you're just going to listen to random people being able to talk through the Zoom, but we're really going to have steps. We're really going to have some clarity. I'm going to have a fun activity for all of us together to make sure we are clear on what type of investor we are and to really make sure that we are aligned with the type of investor that we should be. Then we're going to be able to get in specific groups so that way we can talk about what is the right way to fund deals for that type of investing. What is the right way to find those types of deals? Who are those lenders we should be calling? What names, what phone numbers of these people are out there? I think it's really important to be able to get in the room with the people that are actually doing these things. I want you to be able to talk to somebody who has been there, done that, to make your life easier. That is the goal of our community with Lady Landlords, is to share the resources that we all have to help somebody else in that. And I think that's really where that small group discussions and sharing those experiences that we've already had is going to make a very, very big difference in how you can grow. And honestly, this does not matter if you were a complete beginner or if you already own multiple properties. It's incredibly important to always be moving and mixing. And if you are saying, nope, I'm the most successful real estate investor out there, cool, come and give back. Come lift up the next woman behind you that's sitting there saying, I don't know how to figure this out, but I would really, really like to make changes in my life. So pay it forward if that's you. The second thing that we're going to be doing is on April 28th, we're going to be doing a webinar going through and breaking down all the different types of financing in those different financing buckets. Okay, we're going to be doing a creative financing webinar. I have not done this webinar in years, and I keep having people ask me to bring it back, and I'm very, very excited to finally have a date on the calendar to be able to do so. So I will put the link down in the show notes for both of those events that are coming up. But I really want to make sure that we can first understand what type of investor we are so that way we can match it up with our financing, and that will be able to give us the confidence that we need to be able to move forward. So feel free to share with me now where you are, what you would like to get to, so that way we can break that down and have real conversations about that in our upcoming events with the virtual networking meetup, followed then by the creative financing workshop. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of the Lady Landlords podcast. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button so you do not miss the next episode of the Lady Landlords podcast. And I really look forward to getting to know you and your situation and identifying the type of investor that you are in our upcoming workshop on April 2nd. Thanks so much, and see you next Tuesday.
Thank you for listening to the Lady Landlords podcast. If you're feeling stuck in your real estate investing journey, visit lady-landlord.com to book a 15-minute orientation call with me and see if you're ready to join our mentorship program. Or you can subscribe to our newsletter and join our Facebook group for exclusive real estate investing tips and offers. Invest with confidence. Become a Lady Landlord today.